Greetings. I'm going to do a little drill here that I like to think of as keeping Abraham Lincoln honest. This is a fairly monochromatic image, and we're going to explore the neutrals after we set a shadow and highlight to see what really happens or what our choices are, and hopefully maybe get rid of some fears that people have of choosing the wrong neutral. So let's begin here. I'm going to start by setting the highlight and shadow. We'll start by bringing the shadow in. Sorry, I missed the click there. Just until we start to see that post in the foreground turn black. And then I'm going to grab the highlight side and bring that in until we just start to see it get a little crackly. You'll see some white there coming in, and then I'm just going to leave it right there. Right there, that's a pretty good image all by itself, just by adjusting the shadow and highlight. I'm going to set some hue clocks by alt-clicking on parts of the image. When I hold down the alt key, you see I get this eyedropper. I'm going to click here, and it brings up a floating hue clock. This is going to allow us to take a much more detailed look at what's going on inside some of these shadows and highlight areas. So I'm going to pick a nice shadow area here, and I'm also going to pick on a pretty, hopefully a nice mid-tone here. So we now have three hue clocks. They're reasonably close to neutral, but they're really not quite neutral, are they? Okay, the next part of this is what I like to call neutral shopping or neutral thresholding. Or we're just going to play around with the neutral. I'm going to right click on it and say set a neutral, and you'll notice immediately that the colors jumped up towards the red. It's very slight in the mid-tones, very slight in the highlights, but the shadows definitely have a red magenta cast to them. Now as I move this neutral around, I can see that I can make it bounce all over the place. Currently my tool is set at a sample size of 3 pixels, and for real precise work you could go smaller, but it really becomes a very difficult problem. At 3 pixels you're actually sampling 9 to get your neutral, so it's reasonable to expect that there's enough variation here to help you choose a good neutral, but you're not getting a whole bunch of noise into the image that you didn't want. So let's move this around a little, and as you can see there are just subtle little changes here. Things are moving towards more of a blue cast, and I can make it greenish yellow. It really, where's the right neutral to pick? It's very subjective, and I think having seen the statue myself, I can tell you that a cyan green is just not really the color this statue is. I'm really looking more towards the yellows if I can find something, and that's a difficult task. It may require more in the way of curving to get this to work out. But as you can see, with just very small changes, I think I'm going to leave it right there because I've got the mid-tone almost down to 0. I've got the highlight almost down to 0, and my shadows are off, and I could probably fix that with one of my curves. Plus my shadows are up in the red area rather than down in the blues and greens, which are much more preferable. As you can see, there's a lot of subjectivity here. Who's right? That's a very difficult question. I think everybody has their own look at it. A lot of it depends on your monitor. A lot of it depends on the conditions the image was shot under. This is a difficult area to say what's right or what's wrong. I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you next time.